Chapter 11 of The Shortstop. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Reading by Rowdy Delaney, Idaho, USA. The Shortstop by Zane Grey. Chapter 11 Inside Ball. Findlay lost the second game to Toledo, and according to Mac, largely through the weird playing by Chase. The Chronicle gave the excuse that Chase had not had time to accustom himself to the new arrangement of his eyesight. Hence his errors. Mac, however, was not disposed to be generous, and after the game told Chase he might expect a call when there was time to give it. And the players had heaped such terms of reproach upon Chase that he was well nigh distracted. He felt the cardinal necessity of acting on Castorious's advice, yet he was loath to bring matters to such an issue. On the following day, when he presented himself at the grounds, he met Mittie Maru at the dressing room entrance. It was evident that Mittie wanted to speak to him, but had only time for a warning glance before the explosion came from the players. Chase walked to his locker through a storm of Billingsgate, and somehow he sensed this was the climax. He turned his back, hurriedly got out of his suit, and began to dress. If it must come to a fight, he preferred to fight in his uniform. He listened to the storm, and for moments could scarcely distinguish any particular player's voice or epithet. Then suddenly he heard mention of a boat and a girl in such manner that his blood leaped through him like a flame. The moment had come. He was on his feet, trembling. "Hold on!" he yelled. "I know you're after me, but come now, one at a time, unless you're cowards." A blank silence followed his words. Castorious slowly separated himself from the others. Enoch glanced keenly at Chase and said, "I'm called, sonny. I was only kiddin'." Chase eyed the next player, who happened to be Havil. "Me too," he said. "I only said you're a swelled up mutt," put in Thatcher, with a disarming smile. "Aw, you're gettin' too exclusive since that hoodoo lamp was fixed. Too handsome by far," said Ziegler. "Go on, Molly. You make me sick." "Willie off the yacht?" Meade was the next player upon whom Chase fixed his flashing eyes. The first baseman evidently enjoyed the situation, for he sneered and took a couple of steps in Chase's direction. He looked mean. "Throwin' a bluff, eh? Well, you can't bluff me. You're a pie faced towhead, that's what you are. Been shuttin' your eyes and gettin' a few lucky hits, then swell up. See, mama's little boy. Too nice to smoke a cigar or take a drink, eh? But you mush the girls, you lollygagger. Boat ridin', eh? I know the girl, all right. She's one of your dyin' duck in the thunderstorm kind. She's " Chase struck out with all his strength. Meade crashed down into a corner, rolled over, twisted his body, but he could not rise. Chase stood over him a moment, then turned round to encounter Benny. As usual, the second baseman was partially drunk, and being a friend of Meade's, he leered threateningly at Chase and raised his arm. Chase promptly slapped him. Benny staggered, lost his balance, and tumbled over a chair, then set up a howl. Cas ran to him and helped him to his feet and held on to him. "Cas, lemme go. I been hit," howled Benny. "No, you haven't, but you will get hit in a minute if you don't look out," said Cas. At that moment Mac came into the dressing room. Some of the boys were helping Meade to rise, and once up he presented a sorry spectacle. His lip was puffed out and bloody. Benny was now in tears and crying he had no friends. "What's all this? A scrap?" questioned Mac. Chase briefly told him the circumstances and concluded in this wise: "Stood it as long as I could. And I want to say right here, if anybody gets after me again, he'll be sorry." "Shure, it was about time you broke," growled Mac. "Meade, you got what was comin' to you, and from the looks of your mug you got it good. You can take that uniform off. I'm sorry to turn you down, but business is business. You don't fit in with Findlay. I think you might get on with Wheeling, for they like your work down there. You're overdrawn, but let it go at that." "And say, Meade, take a tip from me," chirped in Mittie Maru. "You're a crack fielder, and a fair striker, and you know the game. But you're a knocker. Get wise. Get wise." Meade lost no time getting out of his suit. To the other players his release was but an incident in baseball experience. They all said a good word to him as he was passing out, and then straightway forgot him. Cas was remonstrating with Benny. It appeared Benny could not get over the idea that he must fight Chase. "But Benny, you'll get all beat up," protested Cas, "because if you lick Chase, which isn't likely, I'll have to lick you myself." This put an entirely new light on the subject. Benny began to cry again, and said, "Everybody but me hash friends." "Cut it out. You're half full. I tell you, brace up, or Mac will be letting you go too. I'm your friend. So's Chase. Here, Chase, shake hands with Benny. He thinks you've got it in for him." Chase readily offered his hand, which Benny grasped and worked as if it were a pump handle. He seemed as anxious to be friends as he had been to fight. "Benny," said Mac, "you're shaky today. I want you to cut this boozin' out. Mind, I'll let you go if you don't. Now take a little sleep before the game." Ford, the local player whom Mac was training, now came in for a talk from the manager. "Here, Ford, and you, Chase, it won't hurt you to listen. Ford, most of the balls thrown in any game go to first base, and you must always be there. Practice getting back to the base fast. The further you can play off the base and still get back, the better you'll be. Play deep when there's no one on the bases. Let the pitcher cover the base sometimes when you're fielding a hard chance, and snap the ball to him underhand. With a runner on first, keep your eye peeled on the batter. If he bunts down the first base line, you dig for the ball and peg it to second, and then hustle back to your base. A fast man gets in double plays that way. Think sharp. Throw quick. Now, on handling low throws, if you practice so you can pick up any kind of bad throw, you will save many a game, and you will steady up the other infielders. Nothing helps a fielder so much as to know he can cut loose and that you'll get any kind of throw. You've got a long reach, so don't leave the base reaching for wild throws till you have to. Keep both feet before the base so as to be able to touch it with either foot. And reach toward the ball as far as you can. The sooner you catch it, the sooner the runner is out. Got that? Now, Chase, a word with you. That was a weird game you put up yestiddy. Mind wasn't on the game, see? You was countin' your money, or somethin' like. Maybe this talk about bein' spoony has somethin' in it. Anyway, you brace. Mind, you're the keystone of the diamond. If you fall down, smash. You've got to play second and third as well as short. You got to think before the play comes off. You got to take many balls on the run. The particular thing yestiddy was your failure to catch the signals between Hicks and Benny. Twice you'd have saved runs if you'd have caught the signal. Now, today, when Hicks signs Benny that he's going to try and catch a runner off second, you back up the play. Got that?" Mac then turned to the other players of his team. "Say, Indians, I'm going to pitch Poke today, and I want you all to get up and dust." "What?" roared Castorious, his underlip protruding. "I'm going to work today." "Sure, Cas, and you can't pitch all the games. I want to save you. There's the morning game on the 4th with Kenton. We have to go over to Kenton for that, and we want to win it. We come back here for the afternoon game, and I think Spear's good for it. What's agin tryin' Poke today?" "He's crazy." "Don't put the rube in. He's wilder than a Texas steer." These and sundry other remarks expressed the players' opinion as to Mac's new find. "Well, he goes in all right," returned Mac. "And say, you fellers listen to this. Don't any of you lay down. We want that pennant. The directors have promised us a banquet, a purse, and a benefit game if we land the flag. Got that?" A chorus of exclamations greeted Mac's news. "And say, Beekman has put up an extra 100 for the leading hitter. Got that?" Another howl from the players answered him. "And say, King has put up an extra 100 for the leading fielder. Got that?" This time there was a louder howl. "And say, Guggenheimer and company have put up an extra 100 for the leading pitcher. Got that?" Cas began to dance and sing. "Do deedle dee, dum dum, do deedle dee. Oh, I don't know. I guess maybe I haven't that extra 100 in my inside pocket right now. And say, if we land